What's up, little Dad? Um, you pose an interesting question, and to be honest with you, I've always been opposed to stripping and stuff like that. Pornography. I haven't been opposed to it in the sense of I don't think it should be legal or I don't think it should be allowed. I've been opposed to it in the sense of staying away from it. Well, yeah, pretty much. And I don't degrade people who do it, but I find it to be degrading, personally. I find the whole act of it, of dancing for people, to be very degrading, and that's my opinion. I understand it could be different for you, but I mean, I'm sure you hear a lot about being objectified and how that, to a lot of people, they see it as like women being objectified, and hey, also the type of people that would go there are the type of people that frankly make me sick. The type of men who will go to a strip club are the type of men, a lot of them married and crap, the type of men that I just don't want to be and never want to be anything like. I see them at my school, at my age, these type of people, and it's so far off from my way of thinking. To be honest with you, I could never date a dancer. And that's not out of, thinking they're whores. That's out of, I'm a protective guy. I'm I wouldn't say I'm jealous, because let me put this into perspective, okay? I believe that anything physical, like even showing your body, showing anything on your body is meant to be within a relationship. Not that I think it would be a problem if we were all naturally walking around naked, but that's not the way the world is. So nudity is seen in a different view than if we had been walking around naked and if that was our natural state. But it's not our natural state. So I really do think that showing your body parts, even these, should be kept within a relationship. And that's like what I say. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a girlfriend, they have to understand that it's not that I'm trying to restrict them from anything. If they want to go do that, do whatever they want to do, fine. But they're just not going to date me if they want to do that stuff. If they want to show their bodies to other people, they're not going to date again. They're not going to date me if that's what they're looking for. If that's what they want to be able to do, just don't date me. Because I don't believe in that, And I think there are a lot of guys who feel the same way I do. A lot of guys who, and I'm not addressing yet the type of guys you're talking about, but a lot of guys who feel as if, yeah, that's my girl. And I don't think it's possessiveness. It can be. And I hate possessive guys, possessive, abusive assholes. But what I'm talking about is guys that really feel like that should be kept within a relationship. And I think that's people's problems with dating a dancer. Now, the type of guys that would want to date a dancer aren't thinking with this. Oftentimes, they're thinking with this down there. And so, while they love the idea of being with someone like that, being with someone sexy, being with someone, who's got all these good moves, when it comes down to it, the trust isn't there. And that's the problem. That the trust, yeah, isn't there. And, you say you haven't been paid for sexual favors before. But for a lot of people, someone like me, for example, would consider that dancing, naked, whatever, very much a sexual favor. And at least for someone like me, having some other guy look at the person, at least in my case, the person I love like that, the person that I feel strongly about, it makes me feel a mixture of hurt. Even the idea of it makes me feel a mixture of hurt, angry, and just wronged. So, I mean, that's just me though. But I think a lot of guys, while they think it's cool, then they eventually start getting worried. They eventually start to get jealous, thinking that you should be all theirs in that sense. Also, they just kind of might start to just not trust you. And yeah, think that you are a whore because, frankly, the whole idea of dancing, the whole idea of it is very lustful. It's very, freaky. and, I think a lot of guys put that together with a lack of faithfulness. After all, if your job is to please other guys, how do they know how far you're going? And I think a lot of them won't admit it, but they start not being okay with it. My suggestion to you is if you like to dance, go ahead, stick with it. If you can find a guy who's okay with it, go ahead. But I think understand that a lot of guys aren't. Whether they say they are, some of them really aren't. A lot of them, it's not low self-esteem necessarily. It's just that a lot of guys will start to get jealous. Many of them won't admit it. Many of them will just accuse you of cheating. But a lot of guys will start to not be okay with the dancing, whether it's at the beginning or later on. So, my suggestion to you is if you really love dancing, and you seem to, keep doing it. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you why I couldn't date a dancer and why I don't think dancing is something that we should need in our society. But after all, people live different ways. Just because it's not my preference doesn't mean other people can't do it. But when it comes to relationships and feelings, I would generally distance myself from the type of person that would. And, shoot. I mean, even smaller things, I'll never, but would I date an ex-dancer? Maybe, if I could get over the fact. If I could. I'm saying I should be able to, but I don't know if I could. Even, the smaller stuff drives me freaking insane. Smaller things, people, in the past have the ability to drive me over the edge. But then again, that's me. So, but if that's what you want to do, go ahead, do it, have fun. But maybe it would be hard to settle down while dancing. That's all I have to say, though. It's definitely hard to settle down with a guy that really has good intentions. Or get with a guy that really has good intentions while you're dancing. Because of the perspective of dancing, and because of the lust involved, and the turning on other guys, I think that a lot of guys, if they're anything like me, and not all of them are, but I think a lot of guys might have a problem with that. Then again, a lot of juggalos are different than that. At least, a lot of them like party girls, a lot of them like to party, just like regular people, forget juggalos, certain guys, certain people, are cool with that, that's how they are, but a lot of those guys also have a tendency to be the same way with girls, and start doing things with girls, and a lot of the same guys that would be attracted to a dancer are the same type of guys that would eventually, when their real feelings started to come, would start getting pissed off at the dancing and all that. So it's Spike here. Peace out and much clown love.